Good morning, Facebook and YouTube. Morning, TJ Ferguson. What are we playing today?
There's a new style of fishing going around today, but it's not done with rods and reels or tackle. The rods and reels have been replaced with computers, and the tackle are now unsolicited emails. This is Kevin Britton at the Iredell National Bank. Never provide your personal information in response to an unsolicited request. No legitimate business or financial institution will ask you for information via an email. Helping your dreams become reality at the Iredell National Bank. Equal housing member.
Mortal Kombat today.
When it comes to your family arrangements, shouldn't you make the decision? Your arrangements reflect your exact wishes and desires. Rearranging your own service will help to ease the burden of your loved ones. It will also alleviate questions, problems, or differences which can occur among family members. Call Family Legal Services Inc. to learn more about rearrangements. 286-4449. 286-4449. Owned and operated by Kelly Clarity. Clarity Legal Services.
Good morning. We're live from First State Bank Studios, and I'm Oran Jackson here with Micah Frazier.
Good morning, McCurtain County.
It's 7 a.m. We're committing this time to reading some scripture. Today's scripture comes from the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9. It says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." That was Josh 1. That's a powerful reminder as we start our day. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's trusting God to walk with us through it. Whether it's challenges at work, struggles at home, or decisions we're facing, this verse tells us we are never alone. Wherever we go, God's presence is right there beside us. So today, let's step forward in strength, in courage, and in confidence, knowing He's with us.
Today, our topic of the day is your mood and the factors behind them. We're going to get into that later. But first, what do we got? Zach Top with I Never Lie here on 96.7 KBEL. Get your request in now, 286-6642. Who we using today? Sub-Zero? Maybe. All right, that was Zach Top with I Never Lie here on 96.7 KBEL. And we're talking about moods, your mood, and the factors behind them. Whether you're mad, whether you're emotional, maybe you're sympathetic, maybe you're happy, overjoyed. We're going to get behind what causes that and maybe give you some insight of how to flip the switch. If you're angry, maybe flip it back to even just a neutral mood where you don't have to be up, all crazy happy about the situation, but you don't necessarily need to be angry. The biological factors with your moods is your brain chemistry. These are one of them. Imbalances in your neurotransmitters like your serotonin or your dopamine, they affect mood. And dopamine can be addictive. Serotonin can be addictive. It's the stuff that makes you feel good when somebody gives you a compliment. You look good today in that shirt today, Oran Jackson. And if I told you that every day, if everybody told you that every day, you get so used to it. I'm gonna give me another shirt. And then when somebody doesn't tell you that, nobody even mentions the new shirt that you just got. You kind of feel that it takes the wind out of your sails. You're kind of like, well, nobody said anything about my shirt today. I bought new shoes yesterday, and nobody even asked me how fast I can run. It kind of gets addicting. You get addicted to the praise or that dopamine feeling that makes you feel good. Your hormones changes due to puberty, menstrual cycles, thyroid issues, stress hormones like cortisol. Your sleep, are you getting enough sleep? Poor sleep or irregular sleep affects emotional regulations. If you're staying up all night and you're staying up all day and you're getting an hour of sleep, 2 hours of sleep. And I'm sure there are people that can function like that, but majority of people cannot. Not everybody thinks they're superhuman. Everybody, you ever notice you have that one friend, you're like, bro, you need to go to bed. You need to get some more. Nah, bro, like two hours and I'm good. And it's like nah, it's a fact. Like, no, athleticism can be different. We are all good at different things, but the one thing about us is each one of us think we are superhuman. It'll never happen to us. I can smoke for 80 years because my granddad lived to be 106 and he smoked every day of his life. Okay, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you will. And we take that for granted until something happens or something comes along the way and it, takes the wind out of ourselves. We're not superhuman. So, get a fair share amount of sleep at least. You don't have to do the most every day. Your nutrition, lack of essential nutrients or unstable blood sugar can impact your mood. I know there's a lot of people that they don't want you talking to them before they have their coffee. And that's caffeine. That is addicting also. And you end up needing that in the morning to boost yourself up, get ready for the morning. And how about your physical health? Illnesses, chronic pain, or fatigue can drag your mood down. So there's a lot of factors to think about if you wonder why you've just kind of been in a rut here lately. You just ain't feeling like yourself. Or maybe have you thought about what you've been eating, how much sleep you've been getting? Are you fatigued? Are you in chronic pain? Different things that, you need to have think about your overall health and go from there. If you're not drinking water, that could be a factor. And don't get me wrong, I was one of those, I don't need to drink water. But then it's like when you start drinking water, you start feeling better. You start feeling lighter, like not as, I don't know what you want to call it, like not as heavy, I guess, or not as, I don't know, water makes you feel better. Sleeping more makes you feel better in the morning. I actually, you get enough sleep, you start waking up earlier than you should. And, it goes back to getting up and just watching the sun come up before you have to go to work. Make that cup of coffee if you need it. Sit on the front porch, watch the sun come up. It is beautiful now. It is that cool football weather, that cool, I don't know how long this is going to last. Hopefully it's here to stay for a while. But just that cool air in the morning. It's not too cold. Maybe a light jacket in the morning, your robe or something. But, have your cup of coffee, sit there and listen to the birds wake up. We'll have more on that, on the mood and the factors behind them right after Luke Combs with Fast Car here on 96.7 KBEL. Sean Douglas said women, they definitely will deter your mood either way. Good morning, Cassie. Sean said I wouldn't go to sleep, but you won't go home. See, Sean, the reason why those kids they may be getting in trouble over there is because you're not feeding them a healthy diet. You're feeding them USDA grade fillers. They need you cutting actual chicken up and baking the chicken, not the chicken strips that they send in a box.
Good morning, Cassie Johnson. It's good to see you.
Yeah, 7:30.
What's his name?
Alan Bryant. Honestly, I would just let him talk. Be someone. I'll get a chair.
I always like Kevin.
This is news from the Oklahoma News Network.
After school bus carrying members of the Micah softball team crashed last night. The bus rolled off State Highway 152 in Mako and threw at least 6 students from the bus. They were taken to hospitals in Oklahoma City in unknown condition. No deaths were reported. It was raining, but what caused the bus to leave the highway is under investigation. Today is election day in Oklahoma. Greg Soach has more.
Voting is happening today
I believe this is
in 27 counties across the state. By far, most of the elections involving school district proposals. There are also several county and municipal.
That sounds more like work for me. I barely do my job as it is. Feed those kids, Shonda.
This guy.
They need homemade stuff.
This guy's cruising through life.
Elections at the state election board website. Polls are open now until 7 this evening.
Oh. What is it, like 95% of people are reacting to live?
They what?
95% of people are reacting to live.
Yeah.
Only 5% of people are truly living it.
They need you slicing and dicing, Shonda. Hey, how are you?
All right. How are you, Frazier? Doing all right.
Doing all right?
Doing great.
Good.
You go ahead.
Uh-huh.
If you want to.
Sure. You doing all right this morning?
I'm doing all right, I think.
Sir.
Come back over here.
On the way.
Yeah. There we go.
So I got a couple questions I'm gonna ask you. We got, are there any new programs or achievements you'd like to highlight? We got, what are some goals the district is working toward this year? How can parents and community members best support the schools right now? Looking ahead, what's your vision for the district in the next 5 to 10 years? How do you balance school, sports, and other activities? That's pretty much it.
And- 'Cause, 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 'cause,
state provided in 2006. The Catholic Church plans to open its new school in August 2026. At first, it was-
Everything going smoothly?
Well, we got the school year started off all right.
All
First
right.
of the year is always getting everybody in the swing of things.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit of an issue, but usually it doesn't take too long. Everybody knows what to do.
Yeah.
Kids know what they're doing. Things start moving along as they should. Of course, this week's a little bit different with the men rivalry week.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
You want water?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm Jackie O'Brien.
Yeah.
This is the ONN, the Oklahoma News Network.
Hey folks, it's Robert Williams here from James Hodge Chevrolet in Broken Road. Have we missed your business in the past? If so, we want to change that. This month, during the Chevy Drives America event, we're pulling out all the
Alan
stops
Bryant, right?
back in
Yes.
in business. From unbeatable deals to a hometown team that treats you right. Now's the time to come back and see what you've been missing at James Hodge Chevrolet, where value drives everything. Visit us online at jameshodgechevy.com.
When the Warriors hit the field, it takes strength, grit, and the right equipment to win the battle.
Kids still doing all right with the phones and stuff?
That hadn't been the problem.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people saying that, and I thought that would have been a good deal. It's just like giving them that break. Let them like come back. Like I don't know how to explain. Just like come back to reality. Like
Don't have your face stuck in that screen
Yeah.
all the time.
like have a conversation. Actually get to know your friends. And,
Talking to our librarian at the high school yesterday about it. She's trying to gather up a bunch of things for the kids to do, like during their off periods or whatever, games and things.
Yeah.
She said they're sitting down playing dominoes, playing cards. She bought some little bookmark kits and they created their own bookmarks and just, things along those.
I don't know if this is on purpose, but I feel like a lot of the teachers are more active on social media, like posting what the kids are doing.
yeah, like it gives them.
I don't know if that's on
Because
purpose.
it's-
I don't know if you told them to.
Well, now they're no longer just. Now they're actually engaging and stuff. So that's good to see as a parent and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a good deal when they announced it.
I grew up in the dark ages when there wasn't even, I felt lucky when I had an extension of my parents' phone in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Lucky with that, but we got along fine. Found things to go do, enjoyed being together and active.
Yeah.
I think that-
Especially, I'd like to do maybe the senior class or just
Runs deep and out of it.
was it what did you think about this year when you actually got to talk, get to know your class, your kids you've been growing up with all these years, but y'all always just
been on the phone.
y'all actually got to engage with each other this year. And maybe you met maybe there was one that you didn't know y'all could be friends until this. That's kind of how you met different friends. I don't have any of my friends in class.
Right.
I start talking to the other kids,
Yeah.
and still today I see them around town. And we had algebra together. None of my other friends that I usually talk to, I just made friends with them. We always have those. What are you up to that night?
Yeah.
10 seconds. You're tuned into Audible's first 96.7 KBL. I'm your host, Oran Jackson, hanging out with Micah Frazier.
Yes, sir.
And we're joined this morning by Alan Bryant, the superintendent of Audible Schools. Thank you so much for being here with us on the Live on 259.
Good morning.
So we got a couple questions for you. So how's this school year been going so far for students and teachers and yourself?
Well, we've had a pretty good school year so far. Of course, it's been very busy, very, very active for our kids. It's, I guess the startup of any school year, some of the time at the very beginning, getting the kids and the teachers both back in the swing of things, but there is lots of activities at the start of each school year, so kids get involved, particularly at a school our size. Our kids are involved in multiple activities, and I think that's an important thing to keep them coming to school, keep them engaged.
How many kids do you think attend Idaho schools?
We have approximately 1,250 kids
Oh, wow.
in pre-K through 12th grade.
Nice.
Yeah, they're spread out, pretty evenly by class. Probably a pretty good averaging where it would be, 85, 95, 110, just to kind of depending on the classes as to how many kids are in each class.
Great. Are there any new programs or achievements you'd like to highlight?
Well, of course, we just got finished with a big week for ag, with the McCurtain County Fair and our ag program and 4-H program that feeds into our ag program did an amazing job. The number one FFA program this year at the county fair, we won the C.L. Campbell Award, which is a very coveted award that indicates the best FFA chapter at the county fair. So Idabel Schools was fortunate to win that. Of course, C.L. Campbell was an ag educator in Idabel many years ago. So the award was created in honor of him, and it's a very great thing that our school got to be the recipient of that award this year. We had probably, I don't know how many entries we had in the fair this year, but we had over 30 kids make the sale order lineup with their animals this year from Idabel. So a great year for ag for us.
That's nice. How would, somebody like me, I was never into ag or anything. Like, if anybody's listening that maybe don't know who to ask or don't know where to start, how can they get active into like the ag and stuff, or just anything in that?
Yeah.
Showing animals, because I know, not everybody, has the property or, the means to own an animal, but I've seen, on social media where, there's people whose kids are already grown, but they're still raising pigs and cattle where they let the student come and, take care of them and stuff. So,
yeah, we have, of course, with FFA, that's for grades 8 through 12. Now, 4-H, there's a very active 4-H chapter in Idabel as well. Our ag program helps with that 4-H chapter, and it reaches down to the very young ages, even students who are as low as, first grade, kindergarten, could even probably be some younger than that. But to get engaged, of course, we're very active. We have a ag program even over at our middle school for our 8th graders. Getting in touch with our ag teachers. We have 3 that serve our school, Brandon McClure, Dustin Clarity, and Maddie Wine. She's one of our new educators this year, and they're all very active. Love kids, take them on all kinds of activities and trips. You don't have to show an animal to be an ag. I mean, that's just a small part of it. But even with the county fair, there were other things that the kids could participate in other than showing animals. Some of it were projects that they built in the shop. Kids may want to learn how to weld, and so our ag teachers help with that. Even if it's showing animals, my kids showed animals when they were in school, and we live in town, so no property in town to keep them on, but we have a school farm, and so if we have kids who want to show animals and don't have the means of having one on their own property, they're able to keep them out of their school farm. That's a good deal for them.
Yeah, that would be good to know. Like a lot of people probably don't know that, and somebody that's interested will, they may want to get into that. And I think, especially being around in these rural areas like that, like getting ag and stuff like that, could only help you in the long term as you get into adulthood and stuff like that.
Well, it gives them some confidence on some things in a lot of different areas. I've always said the kids who are involved in ag, particularly whenever they're working on public speaking, and that's a big part of ag, usually they're very successful whenever they're in their later years of school and applying for scholarships or colleges. They've learned how to speak, they've learned how to interview, and those are all good skills and all taught in our ag programs.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome. I got another question for you. What's your favorite thing about being an Idaho Warrior?
Well, I think the camaraderie that we have. We always talk, and even I refer back to graduation each year whenever I might give just a short address to our seniors, but it's the students see themselves as warriors, and one of the comments that we always make, once you're a warrior, you're always a warrior, and so that's the way our kids see themselves. We're warriors, we're a family, we're a team, we defend one another. And, a warrior is not necessarily someone who's going to war, but you're going to have someone else's back. And so we have that unity with one another. All of our students seem to have that. We have just a couple of examples of what we do. This past week, our football team and cheerleaders, some of them went down to our elementary school, Primary South, to be there to unload students as they were getting out of the car in the morning. And, our young kids were just so fired up to see, the football team and the cheerleaders there. We have had our cross-country team out to do that. And so, it's a good deal for our young kids to see that, but it's also a good deal for our kids who are in high school to get to participate in that and see, that they are role models and that they need to live their lives in such a way because the younger kids are looking at them. And so I need to live my life in a way that I'm going to present a good image. And so as a warrior, what kind of image do I want to portray? And that's one that we are a unified school. We support one another. We're active with one another, and it's just like a big family.
That, the older, the high school boys, they may or may not know how big that is for the little kids to see them. And, I remember being a little kid and my older cousins were playing football.
Right.
And, it was going on the field after that and, looking at their helmet like, oh, man, you're superheroes to them.
Yeah,
And,
that's right.
and, you get to see them, get dropped off at school and stuff. It's a big deal. My senior year, we did that in Broken Bow. And like a year later, I met, I think I was working with her. She's like, hey, you're that guy that went and read to my son last year.
Yeah.
And she brought a picture, whatever, and it was me holding the book and, all her class, kids' class. But he was like, yeah, I remember you. He's like, you're the one that was reading to my kids. It's like, yeah, the little kids, getting them involved and, just showing them just being nice to them, just giving them that, superhero treatment, just.
Well, we're all going to influence kids. We all, it can be in a positive way or a negative way.
Yeah.
We're so fortunate, I think, here in Idabel that the vast majority of our students are going to influence in a positive way, and they want to, and they enjoy doing that.
I don't think there's any better feeling than, seeing the smile, even, especially if they don't know you, but they, to them, like I said, you're a superhero. You got the jersey on, or, the cheerleading outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it could be positive or negative. You always want it to be positive.
Right. Absolutely.
How do you balance school, sports, and other activities being the Iowa Warriors superintendent?
Well, I think you have to be well-rounded. The several years that I spent as a high school principal before I moved into this role, I would encourage any of our new kids coming in as freshmen, find things to get involved in. Involve yourself in as many things as you can, because that's where you're going to build a lot of your memories from. Of course, I remember school back in the dark ages when I was in school, and sometimes I'll go home for a reunion. And we're not talking about what our essay was about in our English 3 class. We're talking about those activities that we were involved in together and those friendships. So my encouragement is to always get involved in as much as you can. You need to be well-rounded. You don't know what you're going to do whenever you get out of school. At least most kids don't. They're learning that. But if you're well-rounded, you try different things. Don't worry about failing. You're going to find places where you fit in and you want to be and things you enjoy doing. So it is a balance. We're there for school. We're there for academic achievement. Of course, we're measured on that. We want our kids to be successful academically when they leave school. That's our role. But we're not all about just the book work. It's about building that whole child, helping them learn how to be successful in many aspects of life. And it takes athletics, academics, any type of extracurricular activity. Our band is fantastic. I've already talked about our ag program. We're rebuilding vocal music. I could go on and on about the different activities they could be in, and also service organizations. Really encourage our kids to get involved in those, working with local community service groups such as the Kiwanis Club. There's a school equivalent, Key Club. We want kids involved in that. Same thing with Lions Club. There's a Leo Club for those kids. And it's just to learn service, community service. If you're going to be part of a community, you need to be responsible in it and work in that community to make it better.
Yeah, so the Warrior game, though, this Friday is the rivalry.
It
We
is.
would love to get your opinion and how you're feeling.
Of course, Warriors are going to win. I'm going to have that opinion every year. It's just the way it is. But it's always going to be a rivalry.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if one team's up and the other team's down. It's going to be a fight, and I mean that in a good way on the field. Our kids enjoy the rivalry. We get into that rivalry all across our district. Rivalry week. There's different things the kids are doing. Dress up days. Yesterday was mathlete versus athlete, and it was interesting when I was over at high school some yesterday to see the way some of our kids and the way our teachers were dressed. You could tell which ones felt they were mathletes or athletes. One of our new coaches, he was dressed as a mathlete. It's really, really fun to see that, and our teachers really get engaged with our kids in that. So rivalry week is about building those memories. It's fun, but it's also to get fired up for that game on Friday night. Of course, we're fortunate it's here this year.
Yeah.
And looking forward to hosting Broken Bow over here.
Yeah, and that's at 7:30.
It's at 7:30 on Friday night. Yes, sir.
Everybody come on out and support the Warriors. If you're listening to Broken Bow, come support the Savages. Support the concession stand. Everything goes into, like I said, it's a community. Home games, the home team, it's all about helping out the community, helping out the students, the schools. So just come on, get you some popcorn. And to go back to, I just thought of one, we were talking about getting kids active, just get into something. I would encourage, any kids listening, if, parents, if you're listening and, you got kids involved in ag or anything that, just be inviting. If somebody's interested in it, but, they're kind of timid about it, hey, bring them, be welcoming, I noticed a lot of that. I do the chalk chanting for the AIOIC in Broken Bow.
Right.
And we've had students come in and they're not too sure. And so I'm always, it's not just for native students. It's just, if you're interested, we'd love to have you. And you don't even have to go to Broken Bow. It's just something I do. And we've had a lot of students just come in. Once, the first couple come in, I was like, this isn't football where you have to do it right. You have, anything like that. It's just, if you want to be here, we want you here. Right? And, I'm going to make it fun. It's going to, and also there's the socializing, it's after school. They can, they get breaks here and there. It's an hour after school once every week or every 2 weeks. Right. But it's something, we may do something on the weekend where they perform or something. And, then they have, that gives them a reason to, I think in November, we're going up to Choctaw Landing to perform up there. That gives them a Saturday that, hey, all my friends are going to be up there. They have so much stuff up there, the cornhole and all that stuff, the little play area. So I would encourage everybody just to be invited, no matter what, even if you don't know, invite them over and, if they're interested, just be welcoming, because that takes a lot to get out of somebody, get out of their shell.
Yeah, that's right. Get out of your shell, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Learn something new. Absolutely.
And, instead of, forcing, rushing them back into their shell, hey, invite them back. Tell them it's okay. Tell them, hey, I was new too, just.
And have fun with it.
Yeah, have fun.
Absolutely.
Again, if you can't make it to the Idaho Warrior game this Friday, we're going to be broadcasting it on 96.7 FM. So tune in 7:30. And yeah, thank you so much, Alan Bryant, for joining us this morning. Is there anything you want to tell the listeners before you head off?
Well, thank you for having me here. And again, just to reiterate, hey, come out and watch the game on Friday night. Support the kids. Be involved. Be a great Idaho Warrior supporter. If you're coming over from Broken Bow, we encourage you to come as well. We really want to put on a good show and have an enjoyable time for everyone who's there.
Yeah, and even the fans, the parents, they get into it. Idaho scores, they, hooping and hollering, the cowbells and all that stuff. And then when Broken Bow scored, it's a fun environment.
It is.
But we want to keep it safe. It's all in good fun. Whoever wins, that's why they call it a rivalry.
That's right.
It just, it goes both ways here and there. Everybody come on out. We will have Superintendent Bryant every second Tuesday, I believe,
That's correct.
of every month. So, but if you want to stop by anytime, you're more than welcome. You don't have to just stick to that. If you just want to come in some days, got something important to talk about or anything coming up, you're more than welcome to come up here.
All right. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Thank you. We will be back. We'll be back with Micah's Man Up coming up in about 4 minutes, right after these commercial breaks.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. I appreciate you coming in.
You have a great
All
day.
right. You too. Thank you.
Just anytime you're interested, y'all got something going on, any fundraisers, anything that you kind of want to get out,
Come up.
just
Let me get
text me or you don't get a picture.
Yeah, let me get a picture.
Oh, okay.
Just text me or that's my number. I text you from.
Okay. Okay.
And just say, hey, I got something. I just want to pop in, whatever day. Completely fine.
All right.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you. You have a
We'll
good
talk
day.
to y'all later.
All right.
They operated just with the heat of McCurtain County since 1982. They're that they keep online bill pay for shared rates.
As John says, I wish they weren't so late. The game's at 7:30. Cade and I have been asleep for an hour and a half by then. Y'all getting that early sleep in, huh?
FDIC.
He was nice. Yeah, he was a pretty good guy, man.
Every life tells a story. At Allen's Monuments, they help families.
Yeah, he'll be here every second Tuesday at 7:30.
Located just east of Flat 10 on East 1930 Road in Wheaton, Allen's Monuments is proud to serve families across southeast Oklahoma with dignity and care. And this season, Allen's Monuments proudly stands with the Iowa Warriors, supporting our team, our town, and our traditions.
That's right. It's time here on Live on 2:59 in the morning with Oran Jackson and Micah Frazier on Idabel's First 96.7 KBEL. It is time for Micah's Man Up. But first, I want to give a shout out to Superintendent Alan Bryant for coming on here. That was the first time. He will be here every second Tuesday of each month at 7:30. And we love having guests and stuff. We appreciate him coming out. Hope he has a safe drive to the school or to his office and has a great day. Today on Micah's Man Up, we're going to talk about doing too much and realizing when you need to pull back the reins to keep that healthy balance in life. Now, understand it's great to chase your goals and chase your dreams, but understand Rome was not built in a day. Some things require steps and patience. Sometimes we're busy, we wear busy like a badge of honor. Running from task to task, juggling work, family, commitments, and trying to be everything to everyone. How often do you do that, Oran Jackson?
Often.
Like your, significant other, got to be that Oran Jackson. Got to be son Oran Jackson. Got to be brother Oran Jackson. Got to be younger brother, older brother, cousin, employee, just different, friend, this and that. You wear many hats to many people. And sometimes it gets exhausting. Sometimes you just need a break and you just need to be Oran Jackson to Oran Jackson. Maybe it's a drive, just a long, just a drive out of town, Texarkana or something, just to get out of town by yourself. Maybe invite somebody to come along, but you just need that break where you don't have to be anything to anybody at that moment. Here's the truth. Even the strongest horses can't run full speed forever. At some point, you've got to pull back the reins. Because honestly, the more you do, the more that is expected. And sometimes, you have to let people know that, yeah, you are still human. How many times you be like, oh man, I appreciate you get it done every time we need you. You're there. You do it all the time, man. And it gets expected after a while. But, you still run out of gas every now and then. You still just feel gassed out and you just, hey man, we got this deal going on. Can you make it? And it's just, it's this weekend, man. I can't, man. Like, I just want to relax this weekend. Recognizing when you're doing too much is the first step towards real balance. Maybe it's the constant fatigue, the short temper. How many times have you done that? This is about recognizing when you're doing too much. The short temper is a dead giveaway that you've got too much going on. You got too many irons in the fire, as I say. It's a classic saying. You got too many irons in the fire. You need to pull some out. Maybe it's the lack of joy in the things you used to enjoy. Those are your body and mind waving the red flag, telling you it's time to slow down. That's the check engine light coming on. Balance doesn't mean everything at once. It means knowing when to rest. You work out. Am I right, Oran Jackson?
That's right.
You understand that rest is just as important.
It's more
as the workouts. You have to rest. You have to let your muscles. What do you call it? First of all, when you first start working out, you have to tear the muscles. You have to tear the muscle tissue. That's the soreness that you feel after working out. That muscle tissue. Sometimes, Rome wasn't built in a day. Sometimes you need to pull it back. You need to sit back and smell the roses. It means it doesn't mean you got to do everything at once. It means knowing when to rest, when to recharge, and when to give yourself permission to step away. By pulling back before you burn out, you actually give yourself more energy, more focus, and more peace for the things that truly matter. So today, ask yourself, am I pushing too hard? If the answer is yes, remember, it's okay to pause, breathe, and reset. Life isn't a sprint. It's about pacing yourself for the long ride. This morning, before I come in, I watched a video of Michael, and he talked about he went against some of the greatest NFL players, Deion Sanders, Rod Woodson. Like, he went against some real talent, all Hall of Famers, and they may have been faster than him. They may have ran a 4.2. He ran a 4.5, but he said, but you know what? I'm going to run a 4.5 in the first quarter. I'm going to run a 4.5 in the second quarter. I'm going to run a 4.5 in the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, and eighth quarter if we got to go that long. But I'm going to be consistent with my 4.5. You may have started running at 4.2 in the first quarter, but by the third quarter, you're running a 5 flat. And that's where I'm going to be, because you're not going to outwork me, because I'm going to be consistent. You may burn bright, but you're going to dull out as the game goes on. That's his thought process. That was his thought process. And it showed. He's a Hall of Famer. He did some spectacular things for those Cowboys. So learn when to pull back. Learn that you need the consistency of work and rest. Work and rest. That is a healthy portion of what you're trying to build. that has been your Micah's Man Up for this September 9th. Beautiful Tuesday, cool, calm Tuesday. Here on 96.7 KBEL. Here is Ain't No Love in Oklahoma by the one and only Luke Combs. Cassie says, great talk, Michael. Very, very needed, I feel. Yeah. Sean Douglas says, Cowboys suck.
Talk about the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah. They didn't in the 90s. I'll tell you that. I had me a Troy Aikman jersey. Appreciate it, Cassie. Yeah, the attitude, that's one of the deals. Even as a parent, I should have said that. As a parent, has changed, and I'm sure he has. Every parent. It's just, they just snap, and you're just like, bro, what are you so mad at? Like, okay, I left this much juice in the bottle, and I put it back in the fridge. Just, okay. But it's like to them, they just blow up. The parent, whatever parent, they just blow up because it's like that's when you got a lot going on. Maybe take a breather. It happens. I remember when they won the Super Bowl in the 90s. I was like 4 or 5, and Daddy danced and hollered off the porch all the way around the yard. That was 30 years ago. Ain't nobody trying to hear the bull poop. Now go Broncos. Cowboys, they was good. They was good, man. We're talking about dynasties, Sean Duckett. The Broncos could never. But no, I do that with my kids. And that's one of the deals I had to, like, hey, bro, you can chill that back. Like, just being high strung, and it's just like, my kids were little, and it'd just be, that was, one of the moments as a parent. I was like, hey, you need to pull back, dog. Like, hey, they didn't mean, that it really wasn't nothing. I can't remember, but it was just, you get so high strung.
Oh, it said it to you?
Or I said it, like, yeah, to my, like, had to man up, just like, they really didn't do nothing. You kind of overreacted, that. So I got to, go apologize to them and explain to them that, I didn't mean that. Caden. That was Luke Combs with Ain't No Love in Oklahoma. It's 5 minutes till the top of the hour. We hope you're getting to work on time and you're not speeding, because they will get you. They out there. We're going back to your moods and the factors behind them. How about the psychological factors? Your thought patterns, negative self-talk, rumination, or cognitive distortions like catastrophizing. Learn a new word today, catastrophizing. Basically, everything is a problem. What could go wrong instead of what could go right? Just negative thoughts. The glass is half empty instead of the glass being half full. That can affect your mood. And, I feel like every workplace, in a bigger workplace, just an office with a lot of employees, there's usually that one person is just, it's good, but you got that but person, but it could be better, or Well, the what is it, Rocklahoma? Every year they come out with their lineup like in April or May. And no matter who they have, somebody's going to complain. The Super Bowl, whoever performs at the Super Bowl this year, guess what? Everybody's going to complain. It doesn't matter who you get. You could get George Strait. Guess what? People are going to complain and say that George Strait ain't this and that and whatever. It's just, there's people that they cannot be happy with just chilling and just vibing out. What about your trauma or unresolved issues? Past experiences can create emotional patterns that influence current mood. And I think a lot of people deal with that. It's okay. But this is about understanding why you feel that way and maybe taking steps to change it. Personality traits. People high in neuroticism, for instance, tend to experience more negative emotions. So there may be an imbalance that you may not know about. These are things like you got to figure out what triggers those emotions. If you're waking up, you should not be waking up sad every day. You should not be waking up mad every day. You can always find something to be happy about, to smile about. You woke up, didn't you? You went in there, you made some coffee, maybe you made breakfast. You went to go brush your teeth this morning or take a shower this morning. Guess what? The water's running, and it's just at that temperature that you love. There's plenty of things to be thankful for and be grateful for and to smile. Your social and environmental factors of your moods, relationships. So we had a person on our deal say, those women will put you through the good and the bad. But also for the ladies, we'll say, yeah, the men will too. So, we're not going to be biased. It's the supportive friendships tend to improve mood. Toxic ones can hurt it. So that boyfriend and girlfriend, that toxic relationship may, do you make excuses for that? Because that's not healthy. You need to figure that out. You may like the person, but how much do they like you if they put you through all that? I don't see it. If I'm going to be in your life, I want to make your life better, right? That should be the goal. If you plan on being with this person, or you plan on hanging out with them, y'all go and play pool, y'all play poker and stuff. You don't want somebody negative around. So, why are you keeping them around? You got to get past that. You got to look out for yourself. How about work and school stress, burnout, overwork, or lack of control can contribute to anxiety and low mood. It's okay to get the overtime and stuff, but if you're dragging in and out, maybe take a day off, bro. Schoolwork. That's a tough one because you got deadlines, correct? And it's a lot harder if you have kids or you have a busy lifestyle. You have to make time. And I know a lot of parents that wait till their kids go to sleep and then they do their homework and stuff. But in between that, you got kids to watch. Once you get off work, you make dinner, you go to the football games now, you go to the still softball games going on and stuff. You got to, keep that balance. You got to, something that works for you. Life changes, moving, job changes, loss, or other major events can shift your mood significantly. And some of that stuff, you just losing people, you can't help that. It's part of life. Job losses, hey, it happens. I'm here to tell you that I've had plenty of jobs for everybody out there. And I move on. I get bored with this one, and boom, I go to the. I never just jump ship without having another ship to jump to. But we go back to the toxic environments. I've had a lot of bosses that do that. This just ain't the best place for me. But I'm not just going to quit By the way, shout out Jalen. Hey, love it here. I love what I do. Social media and news exposure. This goes back to the kids with the phones. Do you think your kids are happier that they're not having their phones out there during school? Maybe it's because they're not on social media constantly. I used to tell my kids, like, this is what's wrong with the world because all it is people laughing at the expense of other people. It's all, people, doing something and all they're doing is laughing. They're supposed to be your friends, but they're videotaping their friend going through something and posting it on TikTok for clout. And it's like, that's not your friend. Like they watched you get beat up by 3 people and didn't put the phone down to step in and help you. Like, that's not your friends. So exposure to negativity and or comparison can have emotional impacts. Maybe they don't feel pretty enough because on social media, everybody's got filters on. Everybody's got this and that. You got to have this. You got to have that. You got to look at all these. These are all factors on your moods, and it's the process of recognizing what's triggering your bad moods. We'll have more on that. It's 8:03, 3 minutes after the top of the hour. We got As Good As I Once Was by Toby Keith here on 96.7 KBEL. Good morning, Fast. It says, can you play Billy Dean? Only here for a little while. Still busy. Have a good day. Appreciate it. We'll get that on for you. Cade and I are only not so busy, probably, or the only ones not so busy. All I know is Joe Louis is the greatest boxer that ever lived. He was better than Cassius Clay. He better than Sugar Ray. He better than what's that new boy, Mike Tyson. He will all of them. What about Rocky Marciano? National Teddy Bear Day. National Ants on the Log Day. Oh, that's what I thought. Celery.
Adam Sandler turns 59 today.
Yep. You know what ants on the log are? Celery with peanut butter in them with raisins on top. You got anything with Care Bears?
Well, I got National Teddy Bear Day.
We can do one for that and then one for Adam Sandler. And we got on national. As I ever was. As I ever was. All right, that was As Good As I Once Was by Toby Keith. We got Billy Dean with On Here for a Little While coming up by request. We got your national days, notable birthdays, and memorable events coming up in about 13 minutes, so stay tuned. More factors behind your moods. How about your lifestyle factors? Your exercising, regular movement boosts endorphins and overall mood. Substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, or even caffeine can influence moods, sometimes unpredictably. Routine and structure, lack of daily structure, can make moods feel unstable or aimless. So you got to watch out. Your lifestyle may be affecting what you eat, what you do, how active are you, how much sleep are you getting. That's I talked about these. Tracking tools. How to track or influence your mood. Mood journals. Written or app-based like Dailyo or Mood Notes. Daily check-ins rating mood 1 through 10 with notes or triggers. Therapy or counseling to explore deeper emotional patterns. How about mood boosting tips? Get sunlight. Get out in the sun, especially in the morning. Remember when you was happy as a kid? That's because you was outside playing. Get out in that sunlight. Practice gratitude over mindfulness. You know, one of the best things that I ever did was start saying yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. Honestly, like that is the best thing I ever started doing. Instead of saying yeah or yeah, yep, and all this stuff. And this started, I think, like senior year or junior year. I just started saying yes, ma'am, yes, sir. It makes people feel good. The last job I was at, everybody ended, text messages, and we do that. It's just yes, sir, no, sir. It gives it that automatic respect, and it makes people feel better, and then you get a better reaction out of people. So even just doing little stuff like that, adding those two words, yeah, ma'am and sir, to interacting with people can change their mood, which can change your mood, because maybe it's that person, y'all just don't get along, but you work together, you understand, we both gotta, we gotta exist, we gotta coexist in the work, but just say yes, sir, no, sir. It's for you, basically. It's not for them. It's for you. It's showing that that's how that looks good on you. And a lot of people, especially elderly people, when they hear a younger person telling them, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, it's the manners. And it just keeps going. You start doing that, you figure out that works. That brightens people's day up. And then you start doing other stuff to keep that going because you like that feeling. It feels like you never run into a mad person once you give them that respect from the get-go. Now, I understand there are people that don't deserve your respect. I understand that. It's case by case basis, but just going into a store and interacting with somebody, hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. How about you, sir? Simple, very easy. It costs nothing, but you'll get a great reaction, I promise you. Talk to somebody supportive. Have you a support group. If you're around people that all they're going to do is, Jackson, if I tell you something in confidence, and then I see it all over social media, that's not good. That's not a friend. That's not, you need that support group that, hey, no matter what, I don't care if we fall out. I will never, I'm not going to tell anybody about this, I'm not going to discuss what you have going on no matter what. Find you that support group. Sometimes it's people that you don't even know. Limit doom scrolling or media overload. I think that's what a lot of people, I know I have trouble with doing that. Like, basically get off the phone. It's like, what did you say, 2 hours before bedtime? Get off the phone. And establish regular sleep and wake up times. We got your national days, notable birthdays, and memorable events coming up in about 8 minutes. Till then, we got Billy Dean with On Here for a Little While here on 96.7 KBEL. Oh, there you go. There you go. Every time I start talking about boxing, white man got to pull Rocky Marciano out. That's day one. So I'm gonna need you to do the voices too. People call me sir. Now I don't look like it. It makes me feel old. Well, you are old, sir. He whooped Joe Lewis's butt. I don't know how old he was, but he got whooped. Good show. We're headed off to the road to ride the big wheel. See y'all tomorrow. Appreciate it. Cassie, y'all have a good day.
I Was Only Here for a Little While by Billy Dean. You're hanging out with Oran Jackson, Micah Frazier on the Live on 259.
Yes, sir. Hope you enjoyed Superintendent Alan Bryant coming up here. We appreciate him coming up, and he will be here every second Tuesday of each month at 7:30. So stay tuned. And if you have any questions and stuff, that'd be one good deal. So, we have call-ins, or you can email your questions. What you'd like to know about the school system here in Idaville. We got your national days, notable birthdays, and memorable events coming up here in about 4 or 5 minutes. Till then, we got Tyler Childers, All Urine. here on 96.7 KBEL. With Tom Hanks.
What's that smell?
What's that?
It's like fruity.
West Point alumni group cancels award ceremony for Tom Hanks. This decision follows a series of political controversies involving the Trump administration that rattled the prestigious military institution. Yeah, not enough for me to get involved, get interested in that. Yes, sir! Live on 259 with Oran Jackson and Micah Frazier here on Audubell's First 96.7 KBEL. And it's time for your national days, notable birthdays, and memorable events for September 9th, 2025. Your national days is National Teddy Bear Day. Yup, September 9th, National Teddy Bear Day honors the history of one of the childhood's favorite toys. We all had a special cuddly teddy as a child. Some of us still have our teddy bear from our childhood. No matter what kind of teddy bear you had, the day is a perfect time to celebrate your childhood friend. It's also National Ants on a Log Day. So Sean Duckett, while you're out there getting snacks for those kids, National Ants on a Log Day is the second Tuesday in September each year. Celebrates National Ants on a Log Day. The snacky food holiday recognizes the iconic and healthy food snack enjoyed by millions of people across the USA and around the world. I need to know who's enjoying ants on a log. It is a celery stick filled with peanut butter with raisins on it. Now I get the celery and the peanut butter, but with the raisins, and I love raisins, but I'm not putting them three together. That is diabolical. Who are you? If you're out there eating ants on a log, I need to know. Who is keeping raisins in business anyway? It's National Care Bears Day. Care Bears Share the Care Day. Care Bears Share the Care Day is celebrated annually on September 9th. Care Bears are on a mission to spread caring and sharing around the world and encourage fans to spread caring, sharing, love, friendship, acceptance, fun, and happiness to those you love every day. I'm going to say it. It's National Wiener Schnitzel Day. On September 9th, celebrate a traditional Australian dish with National Wiener Schnitzel Day. The breaded recipe is made with veal. I don't even know what that is. It's just a fun name to say. That was your national days for September 9th. Your notable birthdays. We got Delilah Beasley, 1872, the first black female newspaper columnist from the Oakland Tribune. You got Harland David Colonel Sanders, 1890, founder of KFC. Bruno E. Jacob, 1899, founder of the National Speech and Debate Association. Otis Redding, 1941, considered one of the greatest pop singers of all time. So if you're sitting on the dock of the bay today, have some ants on the log. Dennis Ritchie, 1941, computer scientist who created the C programming language. Tom Wopat, 1951, actor known for his role as Luke in The Dukes of Hazzard. And one of my favorites, well, we'll do this last, but 1971, Henry Thomas, child actor who played Elliot in the film E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And last but not least, a golden treasure, Adam Sandler, 1966.
Then one morning, I woke up to see all the pepperoni pizza was looking at me. It's for you. Do you burn me and serve me a cold? I said, I got the spatula. Just do what you're told. And the liver and onion started joining the fight. And the chocolate pudding pushed me with all its might. And the chop suey slapped me and it kicked me in the head. It's called revenge, lunch lady, said the garlic bread. I said, what did I do to make you all so mad? They said you got flabby arms and your breath is bad. Then the green bean said you better run and hide. But then my friend Sloppy Joe came and joined my side. He said if it wasn't for the lunch lady, the kids wouldn't eat you. You should be shaking her hand and saying, pleased to meet you. She gives you a purpose and she gives you a goal. You should be kissing her feet and kissing her mole.
That's right. The great Adam Sandler, 1966, actor in hit movies such as Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer, Grown Ups, Grown Ups 2, and The Longest Yard. That is all your notable birthdays for September 9th. Moving on to memorable events. September 9th, 1791, Washington, D.C. is named after President Washington. 1836, Ralph Waldo Emerson publishes his essay Nature. 1850, California is admitted as the 31st state to join the Union. That was smart, wasn't it? 1956, Elvis Presley makes his first appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show. 1957, President Eisenhower signs the first civil rights bill since Reconstruction. 1965, Congress establishes the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And in 1966, President Johnson signs the National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act into law. That has been your national days, notable birthdays, and memorable events for September 9th, 2025. Here is Keith Urban with You'll Think of Me. Stay tuned for Trading Lines. Coming up next.
Woke up early this morning around 4 a.m. with the moon shining bright as headlights on the interstate. I pulled the covers over my head and tried to catch some sleep. My thoughts and dust kept keeping me awake. Ever since you found yourself in someone else's arms, I've been trying my best to get along. That's okay, there's nothing left to say, but take your records, take your freedom, take your memories, I don't need them. Take your space and take your reason.
All right, chat. We outie, yo. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you back tomorrow at 7 o'clock.